All right, without further ado, let's get to it, man. Welcome to another episode of Interviews with the Foreign Magazine, where we go beyond the veil and dive into the thoughts, ideas, perspectives, and journey of each guest that we sit down with. And today, on the platform for the first time, man, definitely hope not to be the last time, man. We got Uccikhan in the building. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Salute, God. What's the business?
Yes, sir. Can't complain, man. Glad to have you on the platform.
Yes,
Long
sir.
overdue.
Likewise. I'm a fan.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Likewise,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
I've been watching, over the years, your work. I've seen you when I like do my research and I look at different things, man. You actually got a plethora of content,
Yes, sir. Low
on
key.
yeah, low key on
Yeah.
YouTube, man.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of your thought process,
Ah,
your perspectives, your history.
all
The
praises
Detroit
to.
history that you've been able to obtain and accumulate throughout your time. You got a story, ups, downs, trials, triumphs,
Show
all
you
of
right.
that. So it's our hopes to be able to kind of get a full idea of all of those things, man, on the platform, man. So
Yes, sir.
um, born and raised in Detroit, east
Born.
side of Detroit.
Yep. With a little South Side Chicago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Spin to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, your childhood, as you would explain, it was good, but it wasn't easy.
It was beautiful, but it was ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was spoiled, but we was poor. You know. My mother loved me, but it was hard. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Let's go to the east side of Detroit. Let's talk about your household if we can. We're gonna work our way through this thing, but I
Mhm.
kind of want to start from the beginning. Talk a little bit about household, parents, two-parent household, one-parent household, the dynamics, pros and cons of the situation.
Well, like most of us, so I was born by the river, bona fide East Side cat. A lot of cats talk that shit, but I'm stumped down East Side cat. Born Marlboro, single mother, young mother. My father was an old cat, married with kids, ponytail, fucking silk shirt, slick talking ass, beloved person that he was. Ultimatum came down. The family of this baby, he chose the family. Growing up, I probably didn't get it, but now I can see it because I'm going to choose my family over a young fling, if God forbid, if ever, right? But the household was lit, man. It was my uncles were street people, shit, house shot up twice before I was 10. Saw crack when it first hit, at the table, and they was the type didn't hide nothing, So, my East Side life, bro, we lived shit from Jefferson, then, it was like a migration. What we call, the hood now, like the 48205, you was rich if you lived over there type shit, or so we thought, But, we went to Warren, Shoemaker, fucking, then we started coming down that cross Whittier, and crack came with us. Like, shit, Rochelle in the 80s, 87, this motherfucker was madness, man. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's a street, right?
Yeah. All that's like that 6 Mile grass shit, 7 Mile. That's when that shit came in, but that shit was later, bro.
And that's an interesting thing too. Just to kind of walk through it. You said that prior to the crack coming into the city of Detroit, that area would be considered
Suburb.
suburbs.
What we call the red zone now was suburban shit. At this time, police had to live in the city, so a lot of police lived over there.
Mm.
Actually, that's where majority of the police live.
And what year exactly would this be? 85?
All the
Before?
80s
Okay,
into the early 90s.
got you.
Yeah, you know, even, you know, I went to prison in 94. That shit was still kind of, especially when you cross that 7 Mile state fair, you know, that was still kind of like nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even at that time, I know that now is known as the red zone, but back during that time, y'all called that the dark side.
Whew, you've been doing your research for real, bro. A lot of people wouldn't, you know, it was definitely like people say, yeah, it wasn't no blue zone. We didn't call it the blue zone. We called it the dark side, but it was blue, you know. And that was only not because, no, it was only because we was the first structured from out of town org to come there. You know, aside maybe the Loco Boys who had California Grape Street influence. You know, everybody else, whether they like it or not, they can be angry with me, but it was them picking up something and creating something. You know, it wasn't from the source, I'm plugged in
Actually
type of
tapping
shit.
in,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it was definitely the dark side, which was 7 and grass shit to maybe haze up to say almost 6 Mile-ish. You know, yeah, so up in that Queen, Macquarie, Celestine, Saratoga, Faircrest,
Gotcha.
Eastwood, yeah.
So, okay, so if we can, one of the conversations that I've been having with a lot of people that has either been a part of gang culture in Detroit or is currently a part of gang culture in Detroit. The idea is that Detroit is not a gang city, right?
Facts,
And we all can agree that that's factual. We known to be a hustling city,
facts. That's why we look silly now, thinking we're gangbang
right?
cities. Yeah,
However,
yeah.
gang banging has existed
Sure, you're right.
in Detroit for quite some time.
Gangism.
Gangism. If you can't, even with you using that term.
So when you say gang banging, I remember one time, a man sitting here, he tapped in with us, but I remember one time, me and my cousin in LA, we on promenade. We got on blue head to toe in the sea of red. You know, Lil EJ, that was my man's. Headbanger Enos, you know, rest in peace. Jelani, rest in peace, right? So one time, this is when Enos had that doodle brown Malibu station wagon. We on promenade getting fried and we turning corners and shit. And this when they was into it with these motherfuckers. They was like, there goes so-and-so. So we like, what? So when they, you know, we ain't finna fight your fight, especially we don't know who you fighting. Later we found out it was, you know, the dog pound niggas, right? But my point in that is, you know, Headbangers shit, when they formed Headbangers, it was red. You know, they one of the few that never converted. You know, that's why I salute them, but we never fell out. You know
And
what
when
I'm
you say
saying?
converted, you mean converted to
Was
the
blue
blue.
first.
Got
Was
you.
blue first and then turned red.
Got you.
Yeah. But we never fell out. We be down there Polydate and pulled up on in the hood, you know. So when you say gang banging, bro, even in Chicago, I never gang banged, bro. You know, of course we've clashed, but sometimes you even clash with your own. You understand? But you know, in the shop, I went wherever the fuck I wanted to go. You know understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
Motherfucker might say fix your hat or, you know, talk some shit, but you know, I ain't, you know, gang banging and gangism is a world apart.
Yeah. What's your Chicago? Let's go to Chicago for a second. What exactly is your Chicago roots? How did that come about? What was your interaction down there
So
in
my whole
Chicago?
family is from Chicago. My mother met my father on the trip here. We went back when I was 3 months. And until I got locked up, I literally been back and forth. I know the south side of Chicago like I know the east side of Detroit. Then lived in the Robert Taylor homes before they tore down the high rises, 95th Street, 67. That's really the hood, Murder Town, 067, Gangster Disciples, you know what I'm saying? But just gangland, you know, as Detroit is drugs, so is Chicago gang, right? And that shit like religion, you know, and I think a part of the problem with Detroit gangs is if you never know the literature, then what's compelling you?
Yeah, yeah.
See the literature, for me, bro, that shit, even to this day, I stand on growth and development, economic, social development, politicals, and I live that shit, right? So when you following some shit and it don't got no meaning to it, you can't be nothing but all over the place. And in my literature, you gotta go to school. When we, and that's the big thing. Listen, that big homie, they take your ass to school, my nigga. Like, what the fuck you doing out here? You know what I'm saying? You in the way if at best, you know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, so Chicago was just, gangland for real. Like, for example, real fast, take the dark side shit and it became the worst zip code in the country by 93. If you look at 93, not only was it 10 murders in a 10 by 10 block radius damn near every day, but you had 20 gangs. And everybody had choppers, baby knockouts, PDQs, 444s start coming down there. Lyndhurst lynch mob, us, fucking RCs, fucking IUTs, fucking, and everybody, so you gotta think, bro. Like, I still live in the hood, and it ain't nothing like it was then, bro. That bitch used to go up every day, all day, versus Chicago, where the whole hood might be
this
G's.
one,
You gotta go to the mall or over there somewhere to get in some
where
dumb
you
shit.
can literally cross streets and it's
we beefing with them niggas over right there type shit.
Got you. Okay, so the introduction of GDs, Crips, specifically in the dark side area, which was originally, before it became a red area, it was originally an area where there were a lot of Crips and a lot of GDs, right?
Definitely.
Talk about the introduction of that. When did you first come to the realization that this was the movement, this was the thing in that specific area? And then also, was it a lot of other GDs and Crips like in different areas of Detroit, or was that like a hub? And like, how did that hub even come about?
So it's always a debate who was first, what happened. I can only speak to my time and my space. I don't know what the West Side was doing. Again, when you talk 48205, I tried to put cats on GDism 2 or 3 times. They wasn't buying it. They like, where the bag at, my nigga? How much money in this shit? What the fuck is GD, nigga? So when music and the rap shit, West Coast influence, different movies, menace to society, boy. So this is when the gang culture became seductive, So now cats wearing khaki, like I got on Dickies right now, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Now cats wearing khakis and shit, walking slew-footed and shit, right? But so as a GD, so let me make something clear as the be shit, bro. Bloods and people ain't the same, and Crips and GDs ain't the fucking same. When I see Bloods throwing fives, unless they off of T. Rogers, Black Peace Stone line, it's just an oxymoron to me. Chicago folks and people is a bazillion miles away from California folks and blood. So when I first met a Crip, it was kind of a little staticky a little bit. First of all, we always to the right. In Chicago, we didn't fly rags. We fly, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I see this dude with this blue flag in his left pocket, that shit kind of was like, this nigga on, you know what I'm saying? And when he hit me up with the neighborhood, I'm like, is he throwing up VL in some obscure, abstract type of motherfucking way? Because I couldn't identify with this shit, right? But when he, Crip, now I'm like, oh shit, colors. Now I'm able, but that shit was foreign to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we was different, but they ended up moving upstairs, right? And when you eat together, and you hunt together, and you fight together, shit, you kind of couldn't tell us from them. Probably like if a lot of like everybody, they was rolling 60s. They was rolling 60s because that's the kind of the name, I guess, that stood out most. But, it was just an alliance, man. Not all the GDs, not all the rolling 60s, just us right there, right? And then again, bro, Cash just started. I don't know if we lost favor, but Cash just started, switching, man. Like I'm talking about Cash that was just with us at Eastland on one tip, and then, not to be funny, but what used to anger me about it is they used to try to be on some hush hush host shit with it. Like see me and be like, oh shit, let me tuck the rag. And I'm like, be proud of that shit, my nigga.
That's what you're gonna
if that's what you're doing, right? I can't, I mean, I could have an opinion about the flip, but it's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you comfortable and, represent that shit,
Sure.
like if you look at my pages, I fuck with Bloods in Cali, I fuck with people, and I don't give a fuck what you are. Be a real motherfucking nigga or a black man, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but shit changed, bro. I come home, I'm like, what the fuck happened? But but I couldn't be mad about it.
And that's one thing too that I eventually want to get into, being that you did, if I'm not mistaken, was it like 15 years
15 years
in prison in BOC?
Definitely.
And I kind of want to talk about seeing that shift, even in prison, where at one point in time, religions was the dominant force that ran prisons. And as we come upon this time, we clearly see
it hurts.
That it's gangs.
It hurts.
That runs the prison. So
it hurt.
We gonna dive into.
Please, let's dive.
We're gonna take our time with this.
Please, let's dive into
yes,
that.
Sir.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the Headbangers, which is a prominent blood set in Detroit, right? And in me doing my research, that goes back to the 90s as well.
Absolutely.
That's not a new thing, right?
Absolutely.
From your recollection, right? When was the first time that you was introduced to the Headbangers? And then even talk about the origin of, because even in that area, as I've heard before, the 7 Mile Dogs, which was a prominent group. I don't know if that was a blood group. I don't know what, but I heard it so much. And I know that that's a part of Detroit culture and history. So if you can elaborate a little bit on that whole,
So the 7 Mile Dogs, I have heard of them, but I'm not sure if they was Crippin' or Bloodin' or Folkin' or Peoplein'. But the Headbangers was definitely, and they not necessarily 48205. They were small town hustlers, DZ, and some Harper boys, right? This is kind of why, so back then, Eastland, Saturdays, all the East Side cliques are being just, everybody come out, bitch. I don't care if you sick, bitch. We showing up, right? So, the first time I saw the Headbangers, I was like, right? Where the fuck these niggas come from, right? And then when you got to looking at, basically the whole hood kind of came together type shit, man. But started red into, and I, all the big homies, I still rock with Quasi, my man John too, but I had always thought, they can correct me if I'm wrong, but I had always thought they was originally off of more of a people persuasion than Bloods.
When you say people, you said that a few times.
So people is 5 stars, Vice Lords, Folk Corner Hustlers, Mickey Cobras, Stones, L. Brookins, Latin Count even.
Which would be all of the people that's under the 5.
Exactly.
Got you.
The People Nation, Folk Nation.
Got you.
That's Chicago.
Got you.
Yeah, I've never in my Chicago life seen a guy say I'm a Crip or a Blood. And again, I've been all over that thing. Never, ever, ever, ever. Yeah, never, ever, ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said Eastland was the thing. Everybody, that was the first time that you saw that.
We done tore it up, man. We done tore Eastland down, man. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you who else used to be deep as shit. Them fucking 444s with some goddamn orange Reeboks. Yeah, fucking lime green Reebok. Yeah, these motherfuckers cover here deep as shit, man. But so back then, real quick, even when our hood was beefing, so like my hood, the top squad was probably the Lynch mob, in my opinion. But even when we was beefing, when we went somewhere else, we kind of stood on the hood. Like we'll get back to our shit when we get back to the hood type shit. But like we see these niggas. Like one time, it was a carnival on. They used to put the carnival on Hayes and Brock, and we shut it down. And I don't think it ever been back since, for real. But they was actually into it. I won't say who they was into it with, and the only reason because if we had knew who they was readily, we probably would have fell back a little bit. But we didn't know who they read, so we kind of basically rocked out with them on that shit and started a whole nother pile of shit. But that's just how it went. Yeah.
So throughout this lifestyle, right, it led to you getting in a bit of trouble.
Yeah. Stayed in trouble, man. Yeah, I was popping that joint, man, shit, probably since I was 13, 14, man. And the first time I went to juvenile, I was up at Jackson Middle School on that tip. But all my cases was that shit there, bro. Yeah.
This situation.
Yeah.
You end up getting sentenced to 15 years.
12 to 20 and 2 for the gun.
12 to 20 and 2 for the gun. I remember you saying that going into that phase, you were 18 years old, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Scared as shit, as you would say.
Scared as shit. Whoever, to the nigga that say he wasn't, all the power to you, that ain't my reality. You understand? Yeah, scared as shit, bro. Not scared in a way cause, shit, I fucking hit niggas with brooms, pour hot water on, so it ain't scared to the point where I'm talking about I ain't gonna bop in this bitch, but just the unknown, bro. You hear all the fucking stories and just like what the fuck, especially when I went to Jackson. So I started at MTU little kitty shit, but when I went to the fucking jail, I was like, shit.
And this is in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it was popping off.
Man, the first day I went in Jackson, was killed, got through and through. Yeah.
for those who may not know, through and through is when I'll just say a weapon go through one end and come out the other end.
Yeah.
One of the things when you say the unknown, I would assume, man, getting sentenced to 15 years, when you hear the stories, one of the main things is not even knowing if you will be able to make it out.
Show you right.
Whether it be somebody playing with you and you gotta lay down a demonstration. Whether it be the police, playing with you, putting something on you, whatever the case may be. We had an opportunity to sit down with Premier Milanic, brother Auto X. And he talked about going in at, I believe it was 16 years old. He was sentenced to 4 years. And that stint ended up being 24 years. So it's that sense of not knowing what can come out of this thing.
My man punched a dude and killed him. Went from 2 years to life.
See.
Yeah.
First day in, talk about your early experiences in prison. Just run us through your whole thought process entering into the first. Let's kind of break it down in sections leading up into your release.
So I went to Riverside Quarantine, which is currently no more. And so from the county, we had a dope ass squad. It kind of led to the squad that I ended up growing up with in prison. But we had a network in the county that you couldn't escape, as far as no drama or, when you just had my man Butter and Apple on. I was in the county with Butter and Moan when them ninth flow rat ass niggas jumped on their case and got them boys all that time. Me and Moan was in trial next door to each other. You understand? So Shada beat the fuck out of a couple of them niggas, bro, because for one, I was hip to them. So when they approached me, one of the guys, I heard him trying that, I'm a paralegal, I can help you shit with another little guy. And at the time when you fight in the county, they send you back to quarantine. Like the whole, I don't know what the fuck was up with that, but for us, that wasn't punishment. I can get through the phone and all type of shit. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm smack the fuck out of nigga just to go back to quarantine to use the fucking phone, right? But so the county led into Riverside, so we go into Riverside. So let me make something real clear, man, especially for my soldiers on the yard. The last thing in the world I did in prison was fucking gangbang. That would have been the dumbest shit to me. Again, no disrespect. I'm not stepping on no toe, but gangbanging sent me to fucking prison.
Wow.
The last fucking thing, and then half the niggas I would have, could have been gangbanging with, I don't know you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Just because you say you blase split, that ain't how the fuck this shit work. Like,
Was that culture thick and there at that time?
It was for the young cats. It always existed, but it was more so like the lower rung. But they had stabbed it up. They went to war, but it was, again, religion reigned supreme, which to me, bro, if I go to prison gangbanging, how do I come out improved? So when I hear that the gang got the yard and not the religion, so when I come through MTU off Riverside, everybody got a pamphlet, a book trying to recruit you. That's what make that dope, because I'm a young motherfucker in need of a higher level of medication in this motherfucker. If I would have fell right in the shit I'd have been on and did 15 dumb dead ass years on that shit, Jesus Christ, right? So let's make that clear, bro. I fucked with the G's, I fucked with the Counts, Chocolate, that was my man from the county, C-Man, my motherfucking baby, you understand? Big Juice, that's my motherfucking mans. And these guys are crushing motherfucker about me, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Bonafide red team niggas. So I didn't gangbang in prison, bro. We was wild on some east side shit, at the U, it was about where you from, what part,
And that's another thing too, if I may interject.
absolutely.
One thing that you gotta know is that in prison, east side could damn near be considered its own gang.
Absolutely. Could be. Yeah. Facts.
East side have their own tables.
Yeah.
East side, if one east side person get into it, so it's a lot different in terms of west side people, but east side stick together.
We were the mob. We were the mob, brother. And so imagine, so let me slow down. So I went through MTU. At the MTU alone, I choked the motherfucker with a sheet. Like I said, I pulled hot water, hit a nigga in the head with the broom. Only thing, I did. It was botched. But I did fucking hit a white boy in the head with a sharp pot handle. It was supposed to have been a knife. But I didn't like that knife. I don't know if you've seen it, when I was talking to Petty Tupac, I used to be scared of the knife. Nigga pull that knife, I was like, put that bitch up. We can shoot this nigga down with these guns, bitch. But shit changed you. But
when you say when you were scared of the knife, why would you say that?
See, that knife is so we call a knife a weapon of intimacy. So the dagger represents betrayal. You know why? Because the person that hits you with the dagger got to be able to get close to you. So I know some bona fide gangsters that these street motherfuckers may glorify, who we put that knife in their hand was like, fuck to the no. You understand? So not just me. A lot of motherfuckers had that knife phobia. You know what I'm talking about? But and then, man, one time, bro, we had a motherfucking piece at the hill, and we used to name these motherfuckers. This bitch was named Uccikhan, which meant the Avenger. And it was this fucking big. It just had a handle here and a handle here type shit. So when you pull this bitch out, nigga, what? Niggas who ain't even got nothing to do with the shit getting low. You understand what I'm saying?
That take me back to the one moment where you say you seen the Moore brothers with a piece so crazy that when you seen them, you couldn't do nothing but say Islam. Bro.
Hey, I knew Islam in peace. So I rode in, and the crux of a fucking war. It was the Melanics and the G's, or the blue team, and the Moors and the
Vice Lords, I believe.
Man, Lord have mercy, bro.
If you can, even with them dynamics, let's talk a little bit about alliances. Is this a universal thing throughout MDOC, or these different alliances with religions and gangs, or however, is it a joint to joint case? Or is that a universal
it was
thing?
universal. And again, I can only speak to when I was there. Of course, the GDs inclined to the Melanics because of that 6-point star. You see what I'm saying? Of course, Vice Lords in essence is Moorish. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, right? Star, the crescent, the pyramid, right? So El Rookin, El creator, Rookin, right? The cornerstone, right? So even in basic GD literature, especially the 360 literature, the old literature, it was biblical. You know, you had the seraphim angels, the 6-point the wings. The angels had 6 wings. You had the 6-point star David, right? People always thought the pitchfork was something evil or demonic. It wasn't. It was the trident, right? It was, you know what I'm saying, represent mind, body, and soul, right? So all of this stuff had a religious undertone. Right. So it made it easy to attract to that. So, you know, and it's not that the religious dens were supporting or promoting gangism. They was really trying probably to convert them, right? But again, that's a process, right? But yeah, bro, every time they'll blow emergency count, bro, they'll unlock that bitch, man, 4, 5 motherfuckers. I'm talking about it was rough, man.
Man.
Yeah.
When you so you spoke about them, but when you think of other groups like the Nation of Islam or the Nation of Gods and Herbs, what would be the go-to alliance for those people?
So the Nation of Islam, which has kind of made us the best. People can fight and argue about it, but we had everybody. We wanted the best. If you had stellar character, we was predators too. People think Angel is just a sexual predator. We were spiritual predators. So you would hit the yard and we'd be watching, oh, this motherfucker well put together. This motherfucker got some influence in Ben Harbor. You see what I'm saying? We gotta have you, bro. See, so we looking past all that shit into the essence of man, God body. So that's the shit I'm on today, bro. I'm on some, of course my social center is growth and development. My spiritual center is and always will be the Nation of Islam. However, when I look at the true essence of what blood means, shit, I'm blood, man. If you saying the 5 is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, I'll never drop that bitch or crack it again.
Real talk.
What part of justice for my motherfucking people I want to put down? So yeah, the nation, bro, we wanted all the good stuff from everywhere, man.
Man, that's a beautiful point. When we talk about the religions having a yard, early on, and we look at the transition now, what would you say? Did you see that transition upon your exit?
I actually can't even believe it when I hear it.
So you didn't see that transition while you was in there?
I mean, the Bloods was there. The blue team was there. They've been there. But as far as like, so, and when I heard it, I said a couple of things had to happen. I say somebody was on high, had to step back into their former self, which I found was true, which is, it hurt a little, but I kind of can see, I believed in this and I pushed this thought and it didn't do nothing for me, I guess you could say. So I revert back to what I used to be. But in my opinion, bro, to go from a real God to a wannabe fucking gang member is absurd. So if I'm Phil X, I'm on high, and then tomorrow I'm back the big homie of the GDs, that shit would be absurd to me, bro. That's like going backwards, I was the big homie to everybody. When I stopped, letting the brothers be 30 deep around me and I be on what appeared to be alone on the yard. Red team, you good, big bro? You know what I'm saying? The Mexicans, you good.
So everybody
The
check.
white motherfuckers, you understand? Everybody, you understand? So, yeah, I kind of, grew up out of, and even with religion, bro, I believe in a little bit of everything now. If there's some truth in it, I'm grabbing it.
Yeah.
I'm not finna debate with you about what you are. If it make you a better person, so be it. A lot of people are like, oh, you wise, you articulate. As soon as I say Nation of Islam, holy shit, you know, damn. So you honor the fact that I'm here, but you got a problem with the path I took, right?
Yeah.
So that part.
And even with that though, kind of like the slippery slope where when you dealing with gangs, if I'm not mistaken, man, gangs will make it clear. Even if you are a blood or GD or vice lord, if you go to a religious service too many times, they'll put that call in like, hey, you kind of
Yeah,
stepping.
what you doing? What you
Yeah.
doing? Yeah.
What would be your message, to, the little homies that's pushing that line, that's kind of stopping people from reaching like spiritual development and spiritual growth,
You
where
the
they say that
fucking
the
devil.
gang is your
You
religion?
the devil, man. Unless you can get this motherfucker something that will create a result like the nation created in a savage like me, to deprive them of that is sheer fucking evil. And so, how can I say this? Often the spiritual predators went to war with the sexual predators. Meaning, if I saw a guy who I felt was worthy, you can't have him.
Mm.
Now let's see who will is stronger to have him. Yours for some fuck shit or mine for some divine shit.
I'm glad you made that point. Is that the reason why the takeover has came about? Do you believe that in the past, where brothers may have had a little bit more warrior spirit in them,
For sure,
do
bro.
you believe that the religions in 2024 is watered down and weak, and
For
it's yeah,
yes, for
talk about
sure. So first of all, the old war horses were battle hardened, now trying to come home. Then you see what I'm saying? So now the youth coming in droves. So again, bro, when we hit the door, it was somebody saying, here, read this, read now. They said, and then from Chicago, you couldn't get blessed in jail.
it.
Who wouldn't want to join the fucking gang in jail? See, one thing about us, bro, let me tell you something, bro. For every 100 motherfuckers we trained, we got 2.
Mm.
We didn't give a fuck about no numbers.
Mm.
Man, this motherfucker here rolled 20 of your best motherfuckers by ourselves.
Mm.
Facts. You understand? So, yeah, bro. I think it's a number thing. We want to be deep. We want to be, but to go to prison and come into knowledge of myself was the greatest fucking reward, bro. I couldn't even imagine that avenue not being
Available.
You understand what I'm saying? I needed that shit, bro. I was fucked up in the head. You understand? So, and I believe, and I may be wrong, but I believe it. If you live long enough, man, you can't do nothing but grow and develop. You can't stay stagnant or you'll die. You keep going reverse, you're gonna die. So I hope, pray, and will it comes back to I hope.
So during that time, even within the Nation of Islam in prison, and I'm making that very clear to create a distinction, because we know that even in prison, if you receive your ex or anything like that, you still have to officially go through process out here in society. Doesn't mean that you're not qualified, doesn't mean that you don't know what you know, but just the proper protocol. So I'm making a distinction.
Yeah.
In prison, you had layers. It's a historic movement, shall I say. in regards to the Nation of Islam in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I would say, when I say this word, you tell me what comes to mind. And the word is supreme. And I'll let you.
Should make my heart beat fast. Let me just say this, Black. No movie I've seen on prison, no story I've heard about prison gangs or organizations from goddamn Guatemala to fucking Alcatraz can hold a candle flame to the Supreme Team, bro. When you talk about 50,000 prisoners in a group of maybe 30 motherfuckers having the ultimate power. So for many years, we've been secret about the Supreme Team. In fact, me and a few brothers just did our first public interview talking about the Supreme Team. Bro, I feel like when this shit really get out and people understand the magnitude, it's nothing like it, bro.
Mm.
So to get your X in the nation, I just told you, if we trained 100, we may have got 4 men out of that. Cats quitting in 5 minutes. Because we don't want you. We would like to have you. Or should I say, we don't need you. So we trying to make you quit. If you stay here, we know you devoted. If you get an X, you earned that motherfucker. So the Supreme was quadruple of that qualification. So out of 100, we might not even get a Supreme number out of that 100. We might gotta wait 2 more 100 down the line just to get one.
And with that being said, let's talk about the basic process and then talk about the supreme process.
So the basic,
just so people will understand, what do you have to do to become a member of the Nation of Islam prison reform study group, and then on a supreme level, what does that entail?
So the nation was the hardest fence to hurdle. I started out going to Moore service, then I went to Atlantic service. I almost became a Atlantic man, and I still hold that in my heart, low key. Bullshit politics, but that's another groove. But so the nation, bro, I ran into my homeboy Eway, Eric X, who was co-founder of the Supreme Team. And first I just started working out, going to service. So then when I say I want an X, you get a processing pack. The pack consists of what we call actual facts, student enrollment, restricted laws, this, that, and the other. So in the actual facts, for example, it's 19 actual facts. On the Supreme side, we had to know the 104 actual facts. On the Supreme side, we can't just say that the sun is 93 million miles away. We need to take that 186 of light times by that 800 seconds that it takes light to travel to Earth and prove it, right? So the study part was way more intense. The physical part of the nation alone, we done had throw up, piss on themselves, had seizures, black out, do backwards flips. But so it was hard, Black. Even when I was training, bro, I remember, on the yard duck walking, feeling like my hip about to just pop out my motherfucking shoulder, bro. And
Hold on.
yeah.
My hip about to pop out my shoulder.
You know what I'm talking about? And you standing there, fucking dizzy as shit. I done went to the cell and just fell out, bro. Like literally collapsed, bro. So it comes down and then, we fast in 3 days. So if your number is 20 straight to the back on the pull-up bar on your second day of fast, when your weakest, put that 20 up. See what I'm saying? So when it came to war, Black, to say again, bro, take me and him with the play, the way we about to rock this thing in the fucking passion that we about to do it with. We never lost, Black. We never lost.
Right.
And I say that humble. See, we didn't start no shit. We didn't bully you. We didn't try to, you know. So when you rock the boat, that bitch rocked, bro. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
So
Yeah.
where does, because although there's a lot of great things that has been said and that comes from this level of supremacy that exists, right? There's also
Talk about it.
a negative connotation as well.
Very much so.
And so my question to you would be, why does that exist? Where does that come from? Is it a misconception or does it have some validity to it?
So let me say this. And I'll be careful with this stuff. Again, man, there's a lot of stuff we never talked about. It's my understanding that the Supreme Team was sanctioned from society, but it couldn't be made public that it was sanctioned from society. So 80s, early 90s, history tells me that the nation looked like everything else. Lawlessness, perversion, uh, all sexual deviance, drugs, whatever. So when these individuals, when these individuals came to establish the law, it was bloody. It was bloody.
Because it wasn't readily accepted.
It wasn't
People
readily
kind of
accepted.
still wanted to do,
be, you know, who are you? What you mean? We about to do it this way? You see what I'm saying? It was bloody, man. And then did some people may use power to their own selfish end? Maybe, perhaps, I'm sure, probably. But in essence, so even the guys who hated the team loved me. And I would tell them, you love me because you got a sense of who I am and my character. Do you think I would be promoting or promulgating something that was ill? So when I was the coordinator, bro, the law reigned supreme. If you want to sell dope, if you want to smoke, if you want to fuck a boy, if you want, go fuck over there. That's why we was always, I remember being on the yard, bro, it'd be 300 fucking mobiles, 200 Milanics, and 8 of us. You understand? Now, I'm good because I got the fucking east side. You know, of one time we got into it, I probably had 2 brother mans on the scenario. They in level 3, I'm in level 4. This is at St. Louis. Niggas in the huddle, my mans know how to come to the gate, like, where they can hear it. Like, y'all know we'll tear this bitch ass gate down and come over there, right? So my homeboys, and I push that pock. I ain't shit, but all my homeboys shit strong.
Yeah.
Motherfucker talk that dolo solo. I don't need nobody. Oh, fuck that. You understand? Yeah. Yeah, bro, but the team, man, so yeah, but the intent, man, was to purify the house of God, bro.
Yeah.
The stars was great balls of fire, bro. We burn the earth. When we fall out of heaven, we scorching the earth. Period.
So my next question would be, you made a statement and said that it was certain things that wasn't to be spoke about or that haven't been spoken about. We have a brother, and I'm gonna say his nickname. I'm not gonna just fully say his name, but our brother Ralph, right? And he wrote a book. And in that book, first off, are you familiar with the book? In that book, there was a whole layout of roles, positions, etc. Did you kind of hear or the rumblings and the feedback from some of the people in that
I didn't have to hear it. I felt it.
Ah.
You know, and make no mistake about it. That's my guy to this day. Did all of us always see eye to eye? Not necessarily. Um, so even now, so I wrote the first part of my life is published, The Passion of the Life. The second part, I'm wrestling with how do I tell my truth without telling my truth, if that makes sense, right? So I get the dilemma, man. But at the end of the day, you know, it is his story.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't hurt us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to think, man, they taking all our mail, reading it. These motherfuckers know more than you think anyways. I remember getting called out. They'd hand me a folder like, well, we got 500 kites on y'all. So they know more than you think they know anyways, right? So yeah, even when I talk about, certain things like how we move, maneuver the points, I'll be like, am I saying too much? But again, this shit is my story. This is, actions are judged by intentions. Actions may appear to be wrong, but motive bring reward.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, going into your, like, even with your mission now, all of the things that you've experienced, all of that history leading up to the now.
Mm-hmm.
What is your goals now? What is your mission now? And how does all of that play a factor into what you got going on? As you say, you got a book already.
Several of them.
Yes, sir.
So the last one is entitled Gangster, an Angel with Dirty Wings. I wrote the book in May 2022. I caught a gun case. It's pretty rough, man. Fighting the case, I'm asking myself how, after doing all of that time, you're doing all of this great shit, how do you find yourself back on mound in the goddamn bullpen with this shit?
Yeah.
And what it comes down to, bro, is this. So now my whole life mission is in that book, and I'm gonna leave you a copy. I'm a fucking gangster, bro. In fact, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm a godster. Meaning I'm a little truth and falsehood strangely mixed. But how do I work that to the divine? So I say that to say my mission is to wake up this gang element into a divine motherfucking soldier. If you strong as you say you is, and I believe it, I feel it on some of these young motherfuckers. Other ones, I don't. They don't know it, but I tell my guys I can inhale their ass and blow them through a wall. They ain't even got to touch them. But the other ones just got that touch on. They spirited, And if you can hold on to black people like you hold on to this shit, we'll be the most powerful motherfuckers in the game. Street niggas, right? How the fuck kids get snatched and you a gangster? How the fuck women getting raped, your woman, black woman, and you a gangster? How a motherfucker get more money on your block, motherfucker, that's tatted across your fucking head than you, and you a gangster? That shit don't add up, bro. When we was kids, we had a store on the corner of our block. We taxed these motherfuckers, bro. The beer truck came, we took that shit. It got so out cold, we started selling it back to the Arabs for the loaves. But my point is, this my motherfucking hood. You understand? So my mission, bro, I live on the block where I caught my case. I done bought half the block. Niggas blew through that bitch, bro. We turned up about it. I did 15 years about it, and I ain't own the motherfucking thing. 48205. Somehow this shit on my body. And I don't own the motherfucking thing. So my thing is to the gang element, bro. And I ain't saying put down your flag, none of that shit. I'm saying stand on the business that this shit was created for you to be standing on. One motherfucking gang. Teachers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad say every 50,000 years there's a blue star and a red star that signifies universal change and power. Wow. Right? when I looked at the Lyndhurst lynch mob and the PDQ beef, I sat back and used to say, what if these niggas can come together? When I looked at the 4-2 and the SMB beef, I say, what if these motherfuckers can come together? How do I know the power of together? Because on the yard, we was together. So you can't tell me what it'll look like. You understand what I'm saying? I remember little homie ride in. I'm so-and-so, I'm SMB, woo, 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 woo. I say, okay, I'm woo, 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 woo. Go ask your big homies about me. He come back like, damn, man, I heard of you my whole motherfucking life, man, woo, woo, woo. So here's how, nope, fuck that one. I give you a better one. My little 5 ride into the hill. His bar is at the hill. At the time, I'm coordinating, I'm the minister, I'm at the top of my game. I'm moving the yard off. You understand what I'm saying? Little 5 ride in, he about 4 sales down. And since the fuck he ride in, and I hope he listening to this shit. In fact, make sure we send this shit to this knucklehead motherfucker. But as soon as he ride, yeah, man, and we did this, and I had that chopper, and I woo woo, and I'm in this bitch, like losing it, right? So they break the door and shit. The homie's like, man, this little homie from the east side, woo, woo, woo. So I roll my eyes at the nigga, like, this nigga, you know what I'm saying? So he kind of like, what's wrong with this motherfucker, you know? So I'm like, let's walk, you know, we going down J5, go to the yard and shit. You know, he quiet as shit. So we walking this shit, it's night yard. I say, pick up, nope. I forgot, I think I said, put your hands on your head or some shit. Whatever he did, the yard rotate. So he like, wait a minute. He like, hell no. I say, do it again, and it rotated back. He like, hell no. Right? So it was, I say, get that ball. He get the ball, I say, throw the ball up. It's time for you to meet the team. So he like, what? He get the ball, throw the ball up. So I say, listen, little homie. And he older than me, right? I say, how you in there talking about the shit that just got you 30 years? I said, I don't want to hear that shit. I say, here's the deal. You either fall in with us, get your motherfucking mind right, and get that 30 years back, or you go over there with Goofy fucking them and relive the dumb shit over and over for the next motherfucking 30 years. Needless to say, he fell in with us. Did he do 30 years, homeboy? Goddamn right. And he out this bitch the right way. You understand? Ain't had to put no salt or no shit on nobody, right? Yeah.
And that's one thing that I have noticed. And this is not to put any degree of, favoritism on one group or whatever, but with me being in media and receiving a lot of these stories of brothers that's getting time back and getting released, a lot of these men that's coming home are men that specifically have some type of connection to the Nation of Islam.
It'll free you, brother. It'll free you, man.
What is it about like that way? What is it about that way of life that makes hardcore gangsters and people like that, have that spark in them to even want to sit in a law library or whatever the case may be and get themselves free?
The Nation do 2 things for you. The one thing it does is it removes fear from the fearless. I was already fearless. And then you remove the fear that I didn't even know I had. How did that happen? Knowledge of self. What do you mean? When you listen carefully, whether it's true or not, it can be false. If you convince me and I come to believe that I'm God, whoa, shit. Now see, prison is now even beneath me. The ministers say you can think yourself out of this motherfucker. As a man thinketh, say, it talks about a boy who was in a small workshop. But his mind and his desire, and it pushed the walls out. You understand? So when you eternalize, I'm fucking God. This ain't no fucking shit that sound good. when the books say he blew his energy, spirit into man, and so wait a minute, the thing that makes me alive is the God force. So now you're talking about the force and power of being. I can make shit happen. Black, let me tell you something, bro. And I hate to keep reverting to war, but just imagine fighting a war from this lens. I'm not fighting a war from a little Debbie's shit lens. I'm fighting the war from a spiritual lens, right? So when you see a brother, man, where they can't even cuff him, man, and he's screaming out, and he done just racked down about 3 or 4 of them. It's a different spirit on this motherfucker, man. You understand what I'm saying? So when you come into that knowledge of self, that's why I say, bro, even if you in the gang, you need that. Once that's bro, I walk around this motherfucker in my mind like I'm 15 feet tall, bro. I smell, I see shit. I could see through that wall. I could see through that sweatshirt to your heart. You understand what I'm saying? It's the most empowering shit in the universe, brother. So that part, that God force, bro, is us. I had light skin complexes and shit, and I used to tell motherfuckers I'm the blackest, yellowest motherfucker, right? And they laugh, right? And then I went and did my DNA, my ancestry, right? Guess what, motherfuckers?
You
My shit,
came back
yeah,
blue
look,
black, huh?
you feel me? I only got like fucking 13% of European, and guess what? It's these Viking savage motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? All the rest of my shit, Nigeria.
You say that's why I
Yeah,
move
I
like I
told you,
move.
motherfuckers. So that God body, black,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But to the work now, bro, like I said, I live on the block. I fuck with these youngsters, man, all of them, red team, blue, I don't know, man, and I'm just trying to show them the real power, bro. Own your motherfucking block, man. Put a block club together, buy that bitch, man. Take care of the old people. We had a fucking mass shooting. 21 kids shot, majority of them girls.
Mm.
And I say, you just made yourself the villain. Even a hardcore street nigga frowning at you. When if you would have went out there on that same tip, like nigga, we holding this bitch down, better not nothing come over here on no bullshit. Now you the hero. See, you the same nigga, but you see this demon time shit is the problem, black. This why I say an angel with dirty motherfucking wings. Demon time, my nigga, the white man, according to the teachers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, is the devil. So when you say demon time, shoot up, kill black people, that's who you with?
Wow.
That's what you own, my nigga. So we never gonna see eye to eye. Two fucking things can't occupy the same space and time, man. If you like being looked at like a nappy head, nothing ass, worthless ass, nothing having, ain't invested in nothing ass nigga, then we on a whole nother we ain't on the same page.
Yes, sir. So, had to, man. It's only right, man. Brother can't be here. This is somebody that also knows Detroit history really very well. Somebody that's tried and true. That also has an extensive reputation for good and standing on business. And being a solid guy, man. Level 5 production, man. Corn in the building, man. We had to have you come on, bro. You couldn't be in here and not.
He been over there commenting all day, and I've been ducking him.
Yeah. So yeah, if we can, man, it's also a critical part of the story that we were talking about. And one thing that you wanted to do was shed light on some of the West Side guys too, and just in general give a portion of what you know in general. So if you can, you got the mic. Do your thing.
So I mean, earlier when bro was talking about how we moved as East Side, we was unified as East Side, right? But the greatest thing they ever did when they made the Detroit movement, See, when the Detroit movement came, that's when we all unified. So it wasn't just hands off Detroit, hands off East Side guys. Now it's hands off West. It's hands off Southwest. We all together.
Yeah.
So that made us stronger, and it brought more structure in the prison system.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So that was like a key high note right before when I was exiting. So I didn't get to see how many years did it uphold, right? But I seen when it was formulating, and we was at Ojibwe. And what happened was it was all it's always about basketball in prison. It's always about basketball. I had my share.
Basketball, gambling, and boys.
Yeah. But that mine was always basketball, right? So with that being said, what happened was Flint always, I don't know what it is about Flint. Flint, I got my guys out there. There's some real solid guys.
If you can, I want to make sure you,
Yeah, I got some solid guys out there in Flint. But what happened was Flint always seemed like they had to prove themselves. For some reason. I don't know why. But they always stood on it. So we had up at Ojibwe, it's like 2017. And what happened was it was about some basketball. I was in a unit. I looked out that unit. First, we had the conversation, because that's one thing we do. We play we gotta play the politics. We gotta use the right diplomacy, right? We gonna give you an option, right? Before we hit the mass destruction button, it's gonna come. So you take the option. Normally, people take the option. So I seen the conversation, right? We went to chow, lunchtime. Next thing I looked out there, the yard looked like something in Pelican Bay. You couldn't describe it. It was so messy, right? You couldn't even distinguish who was who. All you just seen they tearing the yard up, right? The police came in with the tasers. They used the tasers. They ran out of tasers.
Wow.
So then they came in with the bean guns, right? They ran out of them, right? It had made the news, and they said it took them 3.5 hours to get back in control of the facility after that happened. So when I seen that, that's why I said I didn't see how it became into what it was, but I'm gonna pass it on, right? But when it was coming in, them boys was about it. You know what I mean?
And if I may, before you go in, brother, first and foremost, shout out to all of the Flint guys.
Yeah.
My guys, top soldiers out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
And part of that was that Flint guys, they not gonna bow.
Right.
So that's actually.
So I'm not, no disrespect to Flint, right? My thing is, they was like, we proving ourselves out here as well.
Yeah.
Right. Even if we had to go through this, because they went through it, right? But down the line, I ran back into them. Shout out to my man Neek and Flint. I ran back into them guys, right?
Kind of some of the most guys that kind of resemble us.
Right. And when I ran back into them, they was like, man, I f*** y'all boys, you know what I mean? Because it was respect. It wasn't because we weren't trying to bully or nothing. We just had to show this where we at and this where we stand on.
And the question that I wanted to, not even necessarily the question, but it was a guy by the name of Big Hope that made a statement on social media about Flint. And it was talking about the rappers. I don't know if y'all seen this moving around, but he was saying, like, everybody, riding the Flint coattail and the bandwagon when y'all don't even know that it's been static between Detroit and Flint in the prison systems and stuff like that for years. But and even in the streets. And even in the streets, yeah.
It started in the streets. So in the 80s, Flint was one of the spots where the hustlers, my family went to Flint with the bag. So, of course, they clashing about the bag. So it was bigger than prison. But I just want to talk to that unified piece, bro. He kind of just testified to how I say we better together. When you look at the federal system, you riding with a Michigan car now.
Oh, $3.
Right? So see how as the playing field get bigger, the things that we unify on get bigger. Let me elaborate. So if just say we was in a world prison, I'm sure America would join against South America. Broaden it, the Americas would join against Europe, or whatever the fuck it may be, right? But so and when I iterate the power that we had as the East Side, for sure I can't, not speak to them Southwest soldiers, Inktown soldiers, Highland Park, Brightmoor, West Side. You know what I'm saying? Solid guys, bro. And again, it just show how we better together.
For sure. Corn, with your experience and just seeing certain things that could, as we can see, let me just start here. As we see, there's actually a movement going on. Shout out to the homie Ray.
That's right.
Shout out to the homie Will. Shout out to the brother. I think he go by Push a Man or something.
Smoke.
Yeah, Smoke. Man, shout out to them brothers, man, for standing on business, man, and trying to do something, man, that has plagued or heal something that has plagued and damaged, Detroit in a major way, man. As we had Apple on here,
right, my baby,
Mr. Beat the Odds, and he talked about the origin of some of this stuff that was going on, and he talked about it, females.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
Usually high school stuff, man. Stuff that start off in high school that escalates as time go on. You being somebody that has influence, you being someone that's well respected, what do you feel needs to continue to happen? And what is your, job or mission in this duty or in this mission to heal Detroit?
Deep question, right? He put me on the spot, but I'm gonna say this, right? Shout out to them guys, right? Because it took a lot for them to sit down as men. This one thing I always draw it up on, and like when I was in prison, I learned one thing about the Nation of Islam. I never joined. I attend. I did awareness with them. I learned a lot from them. One thing before they strike is a conversation. Right. So I always say, listen, when it's an issue, call him up, have a conversation. Right? The reason being that, because it'd be something on this end, but not on this end.
Yeah.
So let's get an understanding.
Always.
So with that being said, I seen Smoke, he and Bud and all the boys sit down, and I broke bread with them. Right? And they was all in peace and harmony because they ain't got all that lash on their back no more. That's something I had been subjected to, processed it out, and I'm trying to do the same thing for the brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to give them a better picture, man. I go anywhere I want to go. Level 5 production. You know what I'm saying? I go to everywhere I want to go. I ain't got no head, no skeletons in my closet, right? Because I'd have a conversation. You got an issue, let's have a conversation, man. Pull up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like my man Stuck, that's my baby, man. He said, boys ain't ducking no wreck. We ain't ducking no wreck. That's a prison logo. We ain't ducking no wreck. You know what I mean?
And for those who may not know, man, he talking about T Stucky, man.
PA,
great, man.
Yeah, that's my baby.
Shout out to the big homie, man.
Hope you get out. You know what I'm saying? He always been solid. I known him quite a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to ask you, even with because it's an opportunity for people to get aware of the movement. When you see level 5 production, what does that mean to you?
Oh man, it's a backdrop behind it. So back to the prisons, when we was talking about how we was in prison, East Side, representing. I was on my 17th year. I had just went to segregation for a big old fight on the yard about some East Side stuff, right? And I was laying in cell, and my mother wrote me a letter. And she said, you was out here in the streets, you was about money. Now you're in there about some East Side stuff. What do you own out here? Where your zip code out? Where your zip code at? You've been gone 17 years, you ain't got no zip code. So I had a reality check. I said, all these years I was representing East Side, I don't even own nothing on the East Side. So I was sending it off to level 5, here y'all go. I was sending it off to level 5 because, anytime 6 or 7 more go to segregation, it's automatic. You're going to up top. So they sent me up top. And I was sitting level 5. And as we was coming out, we had to make a decision. We had an hour to work out. So all our workouts is very intense. I'm like, man, I love these level 5 workouts. I get with the Nation one Sunday. I get with Soul Eyes. And they was putting it on us. Yeah, so when they was doing that, I was loving it. And I was growing as a man. They was teaching me and grooming me. So I took that same concept from level 5. I said level 5 production because it's not only about me. It's about everybody who want to be involved in it, right? That's why I put the production on there. But I'm saying that to say this. The same how they groom me, I'm doing it out here in the society. I'm glad y'all gave me this platform. Shout out to Forum Magazine. Y'all boys been rocking with me. Y'all ain't know this ain't the end of me, but like I say, stay tuned, y'all.
For sure.
Level 5, man. That's where we was made. You either get broke or made.
Yes, sir.
You know, I did 3 years in Barrack in the hole, man. Some of the roughest shit in the world. You know what I'm saying? But you know, a lot of motherfuckers lost their mind up there, bruh. You know, I think it's designed for you to lose your mind. You know what I'm saying? But we came up out of that thing, so a product of that, you know. And you know, once you done walked the hill, Jackson, the original, you know, 6 block, 4 block, Berger, Marquette, like the rest of them yards be a cakewalk, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, product of that level 5 environment, man, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question before we depart. Even though there is a push for peace currently going on in the city, it's still underlining smoke. And I'm talking about a great deal of it
Definitely.
that's going on with our younger brothers. And I wouldn't mention the groups or who the people are, but if you tapped in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The dissing of the dead.
We're the big homies. I would have never allowed that.
That's my question to you.
Yeah.
What can we do? Because I want to kind of make this solution based. I love your perspective, and you always giving a different vantage point of how to see this thing. What do we do? What should we be doing? How should we be linking with these guys? And what is the role of the big homie from your perspective?
So every day he either call me, I'm up at this school, I'm doing this. It's constant engagement, man. Building relationships, showing the example, you know. We was just at an event last night, you know, I'm on the panel, I'm like, as a reformed shooter, they like, what the So the lady pulled me to the side and say, why did you mean reform? I say, well, to be honest, that was a little sugar for the audience. I'm still a shooter, right? So she really fucked up that. She like, whoa, right? And when I explained it to her, I say, in defense of you or our babies, ain't no telling what I do. Shoot is an understatement, right? So, you know, and we got the same paths. We them guys. So when you talk about dealing with the shooter or the act, we are them. We understand them. We know what they going through. You know, we know the trauma, we know the anger, we know the fear, we know the hurt, right? So just leading by that example, again, man, being in their face, we in the hood, we pulling up on them, we loving on them in a firm way when need be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, I think, you know, it's a spiritual war, Black, and our babies is the prize, man.
Sir.
They got to know they valuable. If you willing, listen, let me say this last motherfucking thing. If you willing to fucking crash, do you know how powerful you are in the war, man? The fucking Japanese had the kamikaze fighter plane where these motherfuckers was crashing out, but the impact of the crash, you don't crash for fucking nothing. Crash for some legendary shit, man. I crashed for my people, man. I crashed for that baby, bro. I remember, you know, the baby's still missing. Zanaya. We out in the streets, bro. Right, I remember. We tearing. You know, the police like, you can't go in no closed. Man, we ripping. Goddamn, I just told you we stronger than all the beat. Fuck, we ripping. Wood slabs off doors and shit. We upstairs, down. We in all street niggas, bro. You understand? We need these young motherfucking soldiers to pop tall to the cause or fucking die and get the fuck out of our way, bro. And that hurt me to say that. If you can't hear me, we need you. You're valuable. Go to fuck to jail forever. Be a fuck boy, gang bang till your fucking head pop off, or fucking die. Get on the shirt, be famous, and all of us. Let the niggas that want to live and see the future of this motherfucking thing do this motherfucking work, Black. That's right.
When they say, but they killed my brother.
Been there.
But they killed
Been
My
there.
cousin.
Been there. The motherfucker that shot me in the chest almost killed me. Fuck my cousin. This nigga almost killed me. I put him on post at MR. I gave him his ex. And guess what? If my back was turned and he was right there, I ain't worried about nothing coming in that way. Okay. See, that be the thing, bro. We got too much emotion in. I don't fight war with no emotions. Watch this. And I'm gonna give you the mic. I'm finna fuck you up. Watch this. No fight in our city or no other city has been bigger than World War II. They say when they called the ceasefire, everybody immediately put their shit down, came up out the trenches, lighting, passing cigarettes. Why? It's not personal.
I see
It's
what you're
not
saying.
it's business,
You
man.
saying it could be fully blown on the floor.
Soon as you say
the call is
ceasefire,
made, everybody stop like a robot,
right?
damn near.
But you hit me. I gotta get my lick back. Nigga, you gonna die chasing that lick, my nigga. You gonna die chasing that lick. It's too much. When I was holding everything that a nigga did to me, I'm letting this nigga get over on me, man. You're controlling me, man. Yeah, I took some motherfucking lumps. Yeah, I lost some of my mans. And you did too. Where the fuck do we go from here?
That's right.
Sir, Corn.
Well, it's hard to come behind that, right? But like you said, I took 3 losses. I lost 3 brothers, right? But the thing is, I don't carry it. I don't carry it. I don't let it become a stumbling block. If anything, I'm moving forward because guess what? Once I visit that space, it put me back in an emotional space. No, we man out here, so we got to move as man, and that's we is, and we doing this work, right? I'm finna call on all the young guys out there, man. Level 5 production. This is what we doing, man. We standing on business. You know what I'm saying? I ain't telling y'all what you do. I'm just giving y'all a little advice what to do. Period. Catch this. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm gonna give you a little advice. And that advice, right? Line it up, man. Line it up right. That's your hood. Stand on it. Boy, you say, listen, you say that's your hood, right? I'm calling you out. That's your hood. Defend it. Period. Defend it. Keep your hood in order, man. Period. You know?
And tap in. We'll show you how to get money for keeping it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Not to cut y'all wisdom.
Yeah.
But it does kind of baffle me that Detroit has been the leaders in fashion. Detroit has been the leaders in music, entertainment. Detroit has been cars, hair.
Killing Tubi right now.
Killing Tubi right now. All of these different things that Detroit has been the head of.
But we want to be some out-of-town gangbangers.
But that part, but then even more, how can we allow other cities to be more structured than Detroit?
Come on, man.
And we trendsetters.
Even when you look at, and this ain't no diss to nobody. I got a lot of homeboys that moved to like Atlanta to, in chase of the dream. And I get it. But when Atlanta established themselves as the South hip hop mecca, they didn't do that by going no other fucking where else, pumping life into they shit. It's back like when niggas started rolling when we was young, bro. I remember my homie was like, man, we go to Lima, Ohio. You come back in the week with a car, with wood, and I'm seeing them do it. But guess what? I'm like, nigga, I ain't going no motherfucking where. I'm not finna go fighting these niggas over some shit I can accomplish right here on my own block. You know what I'm saying? So a part of, like I tell people, bro, if I didn't have a Chicago history, I don't think the gang I would have been in would have been 7 Mile.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't have never went to no out of town shit, or I'd have created some shit. This is what I'm telling them, to make up some shit before I pick up a flag or fix my fingers in a way that I can't thoroughly explain to you what the fuck I'm doing and why. I'll make up some shit. We'd be level 5 production. We'd have literature.
Yeah.
We'd have symbols. We'd have hand signs. All that shit. Before I just follow some willy nilly, and then the last point.
You just brought an idea to my mind. Go ahead.
The last point, the niggas you following don't even respect you. I know about dysfunctional home. Daddy wasn't there. I don't know what the fuck to do. So I look to I get that shit, man. But goddamn, man, the niggas that you dying for, going to jail for, don't even look at you as authentic.
I wanted to pose something on the Foreign magazine. I don't know and I don't believe that it's still moving in that way. But do we need to create a coalition, the movement, and root it in community work and actually getting people together? Is that something
So
that
that's
we
what
need
I'm
to
on
introduce?
in the 48205.
That's right.
So you see this shirt, 482 Live. We got 20 block clubs. We got businesses. We got the street people. We got yard signs. We got 2 billboards about to pop up on grass shit. We got our cars rolling through the community, making sure it's good. I'm trying to, bro, rebrand that thing, bro. A coalition of everybody, bro. Organizations, people. So now again, remember in the joint we say, what's the key? Unity. Now, anything come over here, gotta come see us. Whether it's some voting shit, whether it's anything you talking about, you gotta come talk to the consensus, right? So, hell yeah. So and let me back up a little bit about the coalition real quick. Early 90s, we had in the hood. Remember I told you all the different gangs and squads, it was a coalition. We had what's called the Regulators. The Regulators was us. It was some RCs. It was some CBS, SBC, 444. It was a lot of different crews, bro. And I would laugh. I was telling Ray one time, I say, man, that shit probably lasted about two minutes, right? but the fucking potential of it. We was on to something. We were just too young and immature to manifest it, right? But we was on to something, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we trying to push this thing, bro. Look, I'll be on the call with Crip OGs from LA, Pyrus, Freeway Ricky, fucking who else? Jeff Ford daughter, Larry, who it's a call with me like almost 100 of us, right? Talking about sharing strategies, what y'all doing there, how you doing it. You getting on the same page with saving the next generation, man. And that's where the game time at. If you ain't on that time, you ain't on game time. Ain't every gang blood. What you mean blood? Brother, kindred, crip, community revolution and progress, right? Growth and development. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. All this shit. So my gang, for real quick example, was 2 gangs that merged. You had the Black Disciples, David Barksdale, and you had the East Side Gangsters or the Supreme Gangsters, Larry Hoover. Fighting racist greaser gangs, right? Forced to come the fuck together. Creating Black Gangster Disciple. You understand what I'm saying? So even when I see the GDs and BDs at war,
Yeah.
I see that y'all fell for COINTELPRO. Y'all niggas been infiltrated and divided. Wasn't nothing fucking with BGD, niggas. I was there. I watched this shit unfold. When them niggas was on that GD and nothing shit, 80 Chicago, bro, holy shit, bro. Now imagine if we was on that and we was on some get down with this shit, get on this protection of your community shit, get on, or we gonna bury your ass.
Or get off the yard.
Or get off the motherfucking yard. You
Yeah.
gon' I hate to say this on your platform, but the spirit is moving me. You gon' the sunrise gonna find your ass on the light post, butt ass naked. See, because you don't fear death. So we gotta do some extreme shit for you.
And that's something that
We gotta put your head in your ass.
no, I'm gonna be honest with you. Man, and that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You know, I thought about this for quite some time. And ultimately, you know, force begets force, bro.
Period, bro. Period.
There's no way to establish peace
Period.
without it.
When we
it
used
would
to
be
say
nice. It would be nice to give a word. It would be nice to, you know, say things that should pierce somebody's soul and reform their thinking and their mind. However, sometimes it got to get to that point, and that's why Me and a few of the brothers that's on the Foreign Magazine team really want to work on some films to show and depict that type of activity. See,
Me
in a
too.
movie, you can show
Me too.
where this
Me
person
too.
went against the unity and was found on that
Yes, sir.
Right.
You
Yes,
see what
sir.
I'm saying? You can
Yes,
show
sir.
it differently.
Yes, sir. I love it, bro.
Rather than having to actually do the real
I love
example.
it. I love it.
Showing consequences.
I love
Yeah,
it. I
showing
love
the
it. I love it.
consequences
I'm
of it.
on the same tip. The movies and the music is the way, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, so even with that, when we used to say, okay, today on the yard, nobody used the phone. When you go to child, don't say nothing. You know, we used to do these little silent protests. The motherfucker that said, "Oh, fuck that, I'm calling my baby mama," fop,
Go up top.
fop. It wasn't even no.
Going up top.
See, I was the type that he'd tell you, bro, I fight the war before it happened. You understand? I didn't already, while everybody sleep, I'm standing up at the bars looking at the yard, bro. I'm on one. I done wrote diagrams. I like so whoever we end up fighting with already done fought that fight. We finna roll. All y'all gotta do is just play your motherfucking part. You understand what I'm saying? So and I hope it don't come to that. But at the same time, you can't keep killing our babies.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
can't
sir.
keep killing our women.
Yes, sir.
It just can't happen. Not the motherfuckers that's supposed to be protecting them, bro.
Yes,
It can't
sir.
happen.
Yes, sir, man. Well, any last words? Did you want to say
I
something?
mean, you know, I ain't a piggyback, man. Shout out to my man, Big Butter, man. That's my guy.
Man,
That's my man. I got to get him. I got to get Butter. You know, when I met Butter in a joint, right? It was funny, right? Butter was big, but he's a lovable guy, and everybody loved him. You know,
Should have never been there. Some people
shout out to
never
my guy
should've been
Butter.
there, man.
Shout out to the guys, you know, on the other side, man. If y'all follow Foreign Magazine, right? Get with us, man. You know, y'all coming home. You know, the same thing we was doing, big homies in there. We got to come home and be big homies in our community. You know what I mean? The same thing. Grab them young guys like we grabbed them when they was coming through the quarantine. Grab them out here, man, because they need y'all, you know. Stand on y'all posts, man, and I'm rocking with y'all. Level 5 production style.
That's what it is, man. The Foreign Magazine, Pulse of the Culture, man. Definitely appreciate y'all, brothers.
Appreciate you, bro.
First time, but, you know, hopefully it won't be the last time, man. Appreciate y'all thoughts, man. I'm sure that the people will be able to get something very good out of this conversation. Until next time, man. Brother Uccikhan, Level 5 Productions, Corn, Foreign Magazine, Pulse of the Culture. Let's get it.